Rafi.
Hey Jason.
Morning, morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. Trying to fix my camera because camera is not working. Uh, Okay, so let's see. Ah, I think my camera is not working. I don't know why. Hello, guys. Good morning. Welcome to our weekly coaching call session. It's exactly a minute before the actual schedule. Normally, we give about 2 3 more minutes to give time to the user to attend. So if you still want to get some grab you some coffee, water, tea, or you want to run to the washroom, you may free to do so, but please make sure to be back at least 5 minutes after original schedule. So while I'm fixing something on my end because my camera is not working. Can you see anything on my camera, guys, or no? Nothing, right? It's just black.
Yep, it's
All
just
right.
black.
Okay. Thank you. Hey Shane, welcome back. Good morning, good morning. All right. All right, so just allow me a few more sec to work on my camera, guys.
Jason, if you're saying something, we can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm on mute. I'm sorry. All right, is my audio clear to you guys? Good. All right, perfect. Well, again, good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to another session for a certified admin coaching call. I would love to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's certified admin coaching session happening every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. So if you are preparing for your live certification exam, this is the place to be. Okay. So I am really glad that you guys are here, whether this is your first time, okay, with us, or you've been to one of these kind of sessions before, or you have watched some of the recordings of our previous weekly coaching session. Today it's all about making sure that you guys will walk into your certification exam feeling clear, confident, and ready to go. And I am with some of my colleagues from the certifications team. I have with me Rafi and Poonam. All right. And I think the rest of the team is actually handling some sessions, not session, but proctoring exam today. So we're going to be covering a lot We're going to be covering what the exam is all about, except what this exam. We're not going to be covering what the exam is, but we're going to be covering what the exam is all about. What are the key skills? All right, that you want to brush up on, what to expect on the day. And I will leave time at the end for all of your exam related questions. But before we move into that, um, I wanted to talk to you just to set the proper expectation. Our weekly coaching call session is not intended to replace any of your personal time in terms of learning the platform or training yourself in using the platform. This is not a training. This is mere a gauging us to gauge what where you are in terms of your journey in using the platform and where you are in terms of your journey and your preparation in terms of taking the actual certification exam. Okay, so this is not a replacement of your own personal time learning and practicing, and this is not a training session. This is more of like a coaching one. Okay, so uh let's talk about.
Jason, I think you mute yourself.
Okay, there you go. What's happening there? Okay, thank you so much for that, Rafi. Okay, uh, so before we move into the expectation and the day of the exam, I just wanted to also let you know, guys, that upon registering or enrolling in the certification, um, there are two parts of the certification. We call it as a part A, and we call the other one as part B. Part A is where you watch those short video courses, certain topics, and then taking some short quiz towards the end of a specific topic. And then once you mark everything complete, you will then have access to what we call as the final part A. Okay. The final part A is a 100 item multiple choice exam. All right. This is a self-paced type of an exam. You need to get 85% to pass this final part A. Until you get 85%, that's the only time that you will receive an invitation to book your live certification exam with any of the proctors available, either me, Rafi, Poonam, we got Romel, we got Raj, and we got Michael. Okay, so for those of you who are wondering, I haven't booked my certification exam yet. Maybe because you haven't completed your part A yet, or maybe you haven't taken your final part A yet, or maybe you've taken the part A but you didn't get 85%. Don't worry, you have unlimited. If you're not able to get 85% on the final part A, you have unlimited chance to retake the final part A. Okay. All right, so here's what you need to know for the day of your certification exam. Number one, watch out for an email 15 minutes before your exam. This is a reminder email, guys. Okay, so you will get an email with a link to a video that you need to watch. All right, seriously, watch the video before joining in the Zoom call for your proctor. Okay, the video will cover some important details about this exam, and it will really help you avoid any last minute surprises. Number two, you will be receiving three separate emails for access. I have seen someone posted about are we going to be given access to agency, are we given access to Cloudflare? Yes, you will get. Number one, you will get access to certification agency. So if you're currently working on your own agency account or you have a sub account that you use for testing, be sure to log out or sign out from any of those sub accounts or any of those agency before activating the agency access that we will be sending you. Number two, you will be receiving access to Cloudflare because there are certain domains that you need to add during the exam, and hence you need access to Cloudflare. Number three, which is the most important part of this exam, which is your the examination document guide. Now, the guide actually will give you the structures and information, pretty much all the instructions that you need, what kind of build, what process, everything that you need to do on the exam is in the document guide. Okay. Also, please make sure to join in the Zoom call, ideally 5 minutes early. Give yourself a little buffer. Being early means less stress for you and it helps the session start smoothly. Also, please be reminded that if you are not in the Zoom room, 10 minutes, okay, within 10 minutes of your schedule start, you will be marked as no show, and hence you will have to reschedule your exam. So please make sure to double check your inbox or your spam folder if you haven't received any. If you hit any kind of snag or you can't find any link, please let your proctor know ASAP. It's way better to sort things out early than to lose precious exam time. All right. All right, let's talk about what this exam is all about. Okay. And because it's, again, this is not your typical boring test. So, first off, the live certification exam, this is a scenario based exam. Okay. You will not going to pick any answers on screen like multiple choice. You're not going to do that. You're not going to fill in any random blanks. You are actually going to pretend that you are working with a real client. Okay. And let me introduce you to your pseudo client. His name is Dr. Bob. He's a dentist and he owns a dental clinic. So you will be setting up his account. You will be building his workflow. You will be connecting calendars. Okay, you will be basically handling all the things that you do if Dr. Bob is a real customer counting on you. Now, here's the cool part. So, we didn't just make up any random task for you to do, guys. Okay. So, we went out and picked the feature people actually use the most in high level. All right. The stuff that admins and agency owners touch every single day. Okay. And then we built this whole scenario around those features. So if you are comfortable with things like forms, okay, pipelines, workflows, setting up calendars like personal calendar, round robin calendar, you are already right where you needed to be. Okay, we're not trying to trip you with super technical features that you will never use or touch again. It's all about the basics. Okay, but basics done the right way. Okay, so focus on the stuff that you already know. Focus on the stuff that you use every day. Do not overthink this exam. Okay, a lot of people actually fail to complete the exam because they tend to overthink. All right, just imagine Dr. Bob is a real client and just do what you need to do to complete his required setup. All right, so let's talk about one of the fundamentals that you need to feel good about that. But before we start, I just wanted to make sure everyone is ready. If you want to write notes, you can do so. But also, just like to remind you guys that this session is being recorded and you will find the recording posted in the community under the study group channel at least 15 minutes after we end our session. So, everyone ready for today? Yeah, give me a thumbs up. I want to feel that energy. All right, good job, good job. Any one of you who already booked their live certification exam within this week or next week? I want to see those hands who have already booked their certification exam. Everyone, anyone already finished? Oh, there you go. All right, we got one. Any other who already booked their live certification exam? So we only got one. Well, this is a good chance for you to review, and for those of you who have not book their appointment because they are yet to complete the certification part A. This is also a good starting point for you to know which part of the build you need to brush up on. Okay, so let's start off with the very basic among every other feature, the sub account, because this is pretty much where everything lives, right? So First up, creating new sub account. So anytime you get a new client or you get a new project, you will need to set up a fresh or a new sub account from scratch. This is like setting up a fresh workspace for your client, as this is where everything that your client will do actually lives, right? All right. So it's pretty easy to create a new sub account. I have some screenshot of our agency, so please forgive me if it feels like empty. So, viewing it from the agency side of things, all you really need to do is just to go to the sub account tab right here, right? And then once you click that, you'll have the option of creating sub account right here by clicking this button. Okay. Now, let's talk about this tabs right here. So, as soon as you click that, you have the option of creating a SaaS account or a regular account. Now, since we are already on this part, this is the snapshot part. There are three tabs right here: snapshot template, my snapshot, and imported snapshot. So let's just make some quick um, explanation of what are the difference about. So the snapshot template, these are all the snapshot template that's been created for you and ready for use by high level. All right, if you're using finance, marketing, home services, etc., you can actually research on this. The My Snapshot tab, this is where you want to go if the snapshot that you're trying to use was created within the same agency. Okay, so if you created a snapshot in this agency and you'd like to use it, you go to the My Snapshot tab. If you imported a snapshot, you go to the imported snapshot. What are the scenarios that you will import a snapshot? For example, you purchase a snapshot from a third party provider or creator, or someone actually shared a snapshot of the setup that they would use on their own agency. They would share you the link and you would import them. Okay, so the keyword there is import. Whenever you import, all of those snapshots will be placed under the imported snapshot. Now, why is this here? I'm just trying to create a sub account. Well, that's a good question, because you can now create a sub account. Actually, this is not just now. It's been this way since forever. You can create a sub account over a snapshot so that those assets that are included in the snapshot will automatically be loaded when you create a brand new sub account. But there are two ways to load a snapshot. This is just the first way to do it. Okay, later on we're going to talk about the other way to load a snapshot. So again, the first one is creating a brand new sub account and then selecting a snapshot that you'd like to use. This is how it's being done. Okay. Now the other part is when you create a fresh sub account and you didn't load a snapshot. Let's just say this is actually how I would normally build it. Even if there is a snapshot that I need to use, I always start up. This is just me, okay? It doesn't mean that you need to follow how I do it, but this is just me. I would normally start by creating, let's just say if I'm creating a regular sub account, I just click regular sub account and then I just use blank snapshot. I'm a big fan of loading the snapshot after I created the sub account. Again, this is just me. You can still do select a snapshot while building the sub account. But just in case you do like select blank snapshot, okay, and then in creating a sub account, you can please remember that you can also do that. All right. Now, if you go that route, like build a sub account from a blank snapshot, you will now have the option of loading the snapshot after building it. So once you save your sub account, you will be redirected. Once you save, okay, the sub account that you created, you will be redirected to this page. And all you need to do is quick click on action and look for that load snapshot option right there. Then you will be redirected in this page, which you just need to pick which snapshot are you trying to load. All right. I hope this part of snapshot is clear. This will definitely help you during your exam. Okay, so if you're not familiar with how to load a snapshot, then this guide is for you. Okay, and I am 100% certain that Snapchat is actually part of the videos that you need to complete on your part A, and this is also included in that on those training videos. All right. Okay, so we are done with Snapchat. Now, we are going deeper inside the actual sub account. So, the next key things that I feel that you need to brush up on is the email subdomain setup. Okay, so there are few reasons why you need to set up an email subdomain. So remember that a lot of businesses use um, high level to market their services or market the products, and you know that we can send marketing emails or any kind of emails inside your own CRM, right? And by doing so, we need to set up an email subdomain. Why it is important? Because number one, it enhances the deliverability, making sure that the email that comes out from your CRM will land primarily in their inbox and not in their spam folder. Okay. It gives brand credibility. If you set up your email subdomain with your business's domain, like let's just say your business domain is mybusiness.com, and you set up your email subdomain like info.mybusiness.com. So that means that you're actually branding your email with your domain. So people know who uh, people know that those emails is coming from your business. Okay. Again, it reduces spam flagging. So making sure that all of our emails, at least majority of our emails, will go directly to their main inbox and not in their spam folder. So how do we do that? Simply by going to the settings. Obviously, you need to be inside the sub account that you're creating. Are there any specific reason you like to load snapshot after and start with a blank? There's really, again, that is just my preference. There's really no difference going back to snapshot. There's really not much of a difference. I just wanted to do it that way. I think because previously when I started building sub account before, I am not a big fan of snapshot because there's not much of a, because I like to build everything from ground up. Because I serve before I became part of high level, I used to work with different niches. Okay, so not one niche is actually use the same kind of setup or assets or workflow. So I don't really use snapshot before. But when I work with an agency that create their own snapshot so that they can scale, their businesses more, uh, that's how I do it. Blank snapshot, yep, just blank snapshot and then load it. It's a lot easier for me to concentrate first in building the sub account with the information before loading the snapshot. And again, it's just a matter of preference. It's not if you'd like to build it and choose the snapshot while creating the sub account, that's still okay. There's no right or wrong on that one. Okay. No worries at all. Okay. So going back to setting up email subdomain, make sure you are inside the sub account that you're trying to set it up with. Go to settings, go to email services, and click the create dedicated domain. And once you click the create dedicated domain, okay, sure. You will be given option to put the subdomain that you will be using. Um, and you need to have a host. Obviously, if you already have a domain like a root domain for your business, then definitely 100% you already have a host. So if you're using GoDaddy, I think GoDaddy also use automatic DNS pre-population. So yeah. How about for subdomains or domains that you will use for your funnels or for your website or for your blog or for your store, same thing. You just go to the settings, but instead of going to email services, you go to domain and URL redirect. And since you already have a host or you already have your domain service or being hosted, you just need to click connect domain, not purchase domain, not transfer in domain, just connect domain. And you will then be given an option to put whatever domain you're trying to add or whatever domain you're trying to connect. That's simple as that. Also, we have a full repository of how you connect domains or email domains in our help docs. So also please make sure to look for it, watch some minor videos in there. Also, did I mention that the certification exam is an open book exam, meaning you can do research. If you come across a certain build that you're not familiar with, you can use any materials that are available for you. You can rewatch a video, you can watch it on YouTube, although it may take some time. But again, you have the option of researching specific topics that you're not familiar with during the exam. A lot of people are asking, can we use Gemini? Can we use ChatGPT? Can we use Claude? Obviously, you can use anything. But please beware that some of these LLMs or some of this AI would normally gives you instructions on where to go. You still need to know where you will go, like what part of the sub account is email services, or what part of the email services do I need to go to connect a domain, because it will give you sets of instructions, but you still need to know where to go. So you need to familiarize yourself still with the platform. Okay. uh Done with that. Okay, so let's talk about user management, because honestly, this is something that you, as an agency owner, business owner, or an admin, this is something that you're going to be doing all the time. First off, adding a new user. So whenever your client hires, okay, someone new, or they just wants to get another team member into their CRM, you got to know how to add them. It's actually super simple. All you need to make sure is you have the name, you have the email or phone number. Others will actually don't need phone numbers, just for the record. But yeah, name and email are the two most important part of adding a new user. So do not overthink it. You're just basically just making sure everyone who needs access actually has it. So how you're gonna do that? Simple. If you are trying to add a user in a specific sub account, you need to be inside that sub account. Go to settings, right? And you go to the my staff under that setting and you click add user, and that's it. All right. Is there a way to add a user? So this is more of a question, okay? And I want to hear some answers from the group. Is there a way I am trying to add a new user in a specific location, or whenever I say location, it's a sub account. I'm trying to add a new user in a specific location, but can I do it from the agency view of things, not inside a sub account? Can I do it using agency view from the agency by not going inside that specific sub account? Can you do it? Anyone can answer? Yes, yes, I believe so. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yes. The answer to that is yes, you can add a user. May it be a brand new user or an existing user. I would say that again. You can add a brand new user or an existing user. Let me make sure to discuss that more in depth in a bit. But let's just talk about adding a brand new user in a specific location from the agency view. Now, once we are in the agency view, just go to the settings and make sure to choose team. Okay, from team, you just click same thing. There will be an add user button right here. Click that, and you will be brought into pretty much the same UI when you try to add a brand new user inside a sub account. The only difference is this part right here, the roles and permission. Because in the roles and permission, you will have to define whether this user is being added as an agency in the agency, or they're being added in a sub account or in an account. So when you click this, you will have two options, agency or account. And since we are trying to add someone in a specific location, we want to make sure this is in account and not in agency. And then obviously admin or a user. And then you need to make sure that add sub account, this part right here, will have the sub account where you need to add that user. Same goes if you are trying to add an existing user. When I say an existing user, a user is already an admin or an account admin in a specific location. And this user also needs to have access to another sub account. But you don't want to give them agency access so that because they will have access to all of the account in the agency. You just want them to have access to do two different sub accounts, for example. So same thing, all you need to do is to look for that specific user in the team, in the settings from agency view, and then edit his roles and permission, and then add the sub account right here. Because you can have multiple sub accounts added in this box right here. All right? Following so far, guys? Following? Perfect. Okay. That's good to hear. All right. So, and here's the part a lot of people forget, or a lot of admin have some confusion, or normally forgot to set up. Connecting the tools that the user, we're talking about user, guys, so don't be confused. We're talking about user. May it be account admin, we're talking about account admin user. Okay. Connecting the tools that the user actually use. What do I mean? So let's just say that your business, obviously, if the business owner is the owner of a specific sub account, he also needs to be added as an account admin. The highest user level in a specific location is an account admin. So let's just say I own a business. I purchase a space in an agency. I have them create a sub account for me. I also need to be added as an account admin on that sub account because I will own it. This is actually because that's what I'll be using to market my business, right? So he needs to be added as an account admin. So let's just say that business accept appointments online. Okay, the odds are if I am, for example, I am the business owner, I'm also the account admin on that specific sub account. If my business, let's just say I'm a business coach and I do online appointment booking, and I talk to my potential clients using Zoom or using Google Meet. Okay, the odds are number one, I'm using Google Calendar to monitor all the appointments coming in. And number two, I'm using Zoom or I'm using Google Meet to meet with them. All right. So you want to know how to integrate um, those third party tools like Google Calendar, like iCalendar or Outlook Calendar, Google Meet or Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And it's pretty easy. All you need to do is just go to settings. This is the fastest way to do it. There's two ways to do it, but this is the fastest way to do it. You need to just go to the settings of the sub account and go to the calendars and click on connection. Boom, you get to see calendars right there. You just click add new and you will have the plus make sure that you select which user you are. If you are the only user on that sub account, you'll obviously see your name here as the user. Connect your calendar by just simply clicking calendars, then add new. If you are doing video conferencing, just click on the video conferencing tab. You'll have the option of integrating whether Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and others. Okay. All right. So that's easy and that is quick. All right, let's talk about pipelines and stages. Okay, first up, you got to know how to create a pipeline. By now, I am confident you guys understand what a pipeline is, right? So, a pipeline is just a visual representation of your customer's journey throughout a specific campaign. And you can have multiple pipelines within your CRM because let's just say you have multiple campaigns, right? Every month you have a brand new campaign. You can create multiple pipelines with different stages in it for multiple campaigns. All right. So, all you really just need to know is how to create a pipeline, how to edit an existing pipeline, and how to automate the stages in those pipeline. So, creating and editing pipelines, j- just go to the opportunities tab of your sub account. If you already have an existing pipeline, it will appear right here. If you have multiples, you have the option, a drop down menu right here to choose which pipeline you are trying to check. If you don't have any pipelines, what you need to do is just to click the pipelines tab right here, and create a brand new pipeline by creating the create pipeline button right here. If you have an existing pipeline and you'd like to edit, because let's just say you want to add a stage or you want to rearrange how the stage looks like, you can just select the pipeline right here by clicking the actions and then edit. That's simple as it is. Now, the other part is actually automating. You know that you can, aside from you able to drag and drop those name cards in a specific pipeline. What do I mean by name cards? You see Rafi's name right here. This is what we call as a name card. You have the option of just moving them manually by just grabbing them and then moving them into different section or different stages within your pipeline. But there's a better way of handling that by automating it, by using a trigger and an action. Depending on the use case, depending on what needs to happen for it to move, the only thing that you need to know is what type of action you need to use to make the name cards move to different stages. All right. Create and update pipeline. That's actually, but I think for for the most part, that's sooner or later that's going to be obsolete. So you need to study the action, update opportunity. All right, you need to understand how it works, and it's not as easy as just using the update opportunity action, because you also need to use find opportunity to go hand in hand with update opportunity. So make sure you study that, the difference, the relationship between find opportunity and update opportunity action, because that's the action that will make those names or those lead to move within different stages within your pipeline. Okay. All right. Um, let's talk about forms, because I think honestly, forms, they're kind of the unsung hero in the platform. First off, you want to be comfortable in creating forms. This is how, because this is how you collect information, right? Information from your leads, like their name, their email, their phone number, whatever information that you need to collect. If you know how to build a form from scratch, you can basically set up any kind of funnel or any kind of workflow that you want. Okay. And editing form is just as important as creating one. Sometimes you need to add new fields, make something required, or tweaking the look and feel so it matches your brand. Yeah. So pretty easy. Where can we find forms? It's already in the example. It's always in the site. So don't look for forms in the tab. It's going to be inside sites, and then you go ahead and click on forms right here. If you have an existing form that you already have in your sub account, you'll have all of them listed right here. If you need to create a brand new one, just click the create form button right here, you will have the option of using a template form that is ready made for you, created by the high level team. You just need to make sure you edit it based on what you need. If you need to edit an existing form, because you already have one, you just need to edit it. You just need to choose or click, not click, but choose, and then click the three buttons, three dotted lines right here, or three dotted buttons right here, and edit the specific form. The elements in the form is pretty basic. It's drag and drop. You can choose any kind of elements like first name, full name, phone number, email, address, birthday, everything. It's just easy. It's just drag and drop, and designing it is also easy. It's customizable. There are settings in there. The functionality of the forms can also be edited inside the settings of the form. So if you have some time, make sure you go over, try to create some form, try to play around with it and see how you can edit them. Okay. All right. So calendar management, getting to know round robin. Well, please forgive me. It's supposed to be round robin and personal calendars. Why? Let me explain. So during the exam, this is already a giveaway. You will be asked to create a calendar. So it's either round robin calendar or personal calendar. Why? Because these are the only two types of calendar that will create a dynamic link, especially if the business owner or the user or business owner slash user books appointment online and their meeting location is either Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Teams. All right. You wanted to make sure that your system creates a dynamic link. All right. A link that actually is different from anyone who tried to book an appointment. So no lead will have the same link to a video call with the business owner. That's what we call as a dynamic link. And only the round robin or the personal calendar can do that for us. Okay, so you go to settings of the sub account, you choose on calendar. If you have an existing calendar you need to edit, you will see the list of the calendars right here. But if you'd like to create a brand new calendar, you just click the new calendar button right here. You select whether you're trying to create a personal booking or a round robin booking calendar. Once you start editing the details, you will be brought in this page right here. It gives you custom URL, or this is what we called before. I think this is what we called as, oh shoot, I forgot what this is called. But yeah, should be automatic. The name of the calendar. For the staff and location, this is where you're gonna choose the use slug. There you go. Thanks, Caesar. I almost forgot. It's called slug. All right, now it's actually automatic. It gives you a slug for it. Okay, staff and meeting location. This is where you're gonna choose the user. All right. So if your user is the business owner and you have one user in the sub account, obviously you just need to pick him and you need to make sure that you choose the meeting location. Earlier, I mentioned that if the business is actually in the business of booking appointment online and their meeting location setup is via Zoom or via Google Meet, because that's how you set up the user. You set up their Google Meet or you set up their Zoom. You need to make sure that the calendar that they're being part of will also says, are they using Zoom or are they using Google Meet? Okay. Because if you don't choose any of this, even if the user that you choose, let's just say, for example, this is the business owner, Jerome Referzo, and we set up Jerome Referzo's profile to handle all meeting via Google Meet. Even if that specific user has Google Meet, but if this calendar who's creating the appointment has no meeting location, even if you call the meeting location custom value in a confirmation email so that they can click it to attend, it's not going to generate any dynamic link. So please do remember that. So um, set up the user first with whatever meeting location they wanted to use. And when you set up the calendar that they're going to be part of, you need to make sure you also set it up so that we can call the meeting location custom value later on. Um, whenever you set up a confirmation email. Because obviously, if the meeting, like an appointment, is going to happen in a Zoom, you wanted to make sure that when they book an appointment, when a lead book an appointment, they will receive an email showing them that they book an appointment on this date, they book an appointment on this time, and there's a link there that they can click to join the meeting. All right. And that's where meeting location as a custom value will become helpful. Okay. Anyone familiar with custom value, the usage of custom value? If not, please make sure um, you study what custom value is. But for this exam, I would say meeting location is one of the most important custom value that you need to know, and you need to know how to call it. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right, let's talk website and funnels. And just so you know, this part isn't about being a graphic designer, at least during the exam. Okay, it's all about making sure that your funnel will go live and your funnel is working. I would say funnel or website. Okay, you should feel good about creating a website or a funnel from scratch. Okay. Um, Actually, during the exam, you don't really need to design it. It could be just a plain white background with whatever elements that we will ask you to include. Let's just say if we want you to create a page that will have a form in it, or we would like you to create a page that will have a calendar, or we would like you to create a page that has a thank you in it. So we just wanted to make sure that you know how to do it, and you know how to make it work, and you know how to make it live. Because definitely during the exam, we will test it. Okay, those, don't stress yourself about the design. You can even use a templated website or funnel. You just need to make sure you know how to edit one. Okay. Same thing with forms. All the elements, when I say elements, forms, website, text, what else? There are a lot of elements inside creating funnels. Those are drag and drop. Okay, you can choose, and then you can drag them over to the page that you're trying to build. Let's just say for a form, you just look for the form element and then drag the form, and then choose whatever form that you have available in your system. If you're looking for a calendar element, just look for the calendar element and then drag them over to your page. And then just once it's there, just look for whatever available calendars that you already have in your system. That's how simple it is. Again, don't stress yourself too much about the design. It could just be a white background with all the elements that we're going to be asking you. And how would you know what elements are? It's going to be in the instruction guide that we will be sending you 15 minutes before your exam schedule start time. Can we send it one day before? No, it's like giving you the cheat code on how to pass this exam. All right. So we'll be giving you access to the examination document guide 15 minutes prior to the your exam, and your proctor will actually explain everything that you need to know about the exam guide during your exam time before you even start. Okay. All right. Um, Workflows. So this is actually where you're going to find a lot of time saving in the automation with high level. So let's talk about snapshot for a sec. Why are we talking about snapshot? I thought we're talking about workflow. Yes, because here's a little secret, guys. We will be providing you a snapshot during your exam. All right. So we will be providing you a snapshot during the exam. If you're going to use it, about 90% of the workflow that you need to complete the exam is in the snapshot. So, what's your main job then? Well, just review what's in there, troubleshoot anything that's missing or broken, and connect the dots. Sometimes that means if it's missing a trigger, add a trigger. If it's missing an action, add an action. And how do we know if it's missing a trigger? How do we know if it's missing an action? Your guide will tell you what needs to happen. And you're just going to match it. Oh, it says whenever someone submits this, this needs to happen. Okay, there are the actions, but I'm missing a trigger. Okay, so based on what I've understand, if someone submits the form and I don't have a trigger in this, I should add a trigger. Okay, I should add a trigger. That's how you're just going to analyze it. Very simple. You just need to, cross match it and see what's missing. So 90% of the workflow that you need is already in the snapshot. There are certain users during the past that opted not to use the snapshot. It actually just a lot of them says that I just wanted to build everything from ground up. That way, I don't see any other assets in there that makes me confused. But my suggestion: use the snapshot. It will be a lot faster for your build and for you to finish this exam. Okay, so all right. I'm sorry. I think I got disconnected. Anyone can hear me clearly? Still? Yes. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. I thought I got disconnected for a moment. Okay. So, what kind of automation you should know your way around? Let me just give you some quick examples of what kind of automation you should know your way around. Very basic opt-in sequence. This is all about what happens when someone fills out a form or show interest for the first time. Let me ask you a very quick question. Whenever I say opt in, this is actually a I think this is universal. Whenever you say opt in, they're going to provide their information. And for them to provide information, you guys will be using form. So if you are trying to create a opt in sequence automation, what will be your trigger? Anyone can answer. What will be your trigger if you're trying to create an automated form submission? Very good. Form submission, or to be exact, it says form submitted. All right, but at least you know the idea. Yes, but at least you have the idea on your head. All right, that is exactly right. Perfect. Now, booking appointment sequences. Uh, what's supposed to fire off when someone scheduled a meeting or book an appointment? You want to make sure maybe for the action you maybe confirmation goes out, maybe reminders are being set so everyone gets the information. Now, another question: if you're trying to create an appointment, a booking confirmation, let's just say someone booked an appointment, you want to automate things in what will be your trigger in a booking appointment sequence? Customer book appointment. Exactly. Customer booked appointment. A lot of users would also use appointment status is confirmed. I would say I will always use customer booked appointment because appointments using appointment status in a book appointment sequence means you need to make sure that there are certain parameters. It will ask you whether would you like to trigger appointment status when someone is confirmed, no show, etc. I would always the safest way to do it, customer book appointment. And this is where you will use the appointment status as a trigger using appointment status sequences. So if a lead, let's just say, shows up, if they cancel, if they no show or misses the appointment, what happens next? Right? So that I would say I can use the trigger appointment status. If you think that workflow or automation is not your strongest suit in terms of the platform, here's what my suggestion will be: go to your automation, all right, click create workflow, and select from template. Why? Because if you do so, you will be presented with what we call as recipes. Okay, and recipes are a good starting point to understand what are the common actions being used on a certain use case. For example, recipes to send replies to inbound WhatsApp, recipes for list reactivation, recipes for appointment confirmation, and so on. So there are a lot of recipes right here that you can study. All right. You will be familiarized with what are the common trigger that is being used in so many use cases. What are the actions? Why use those actions? You will definitely learn a lot. When I'm starting with high level, this is actually how I studied workflow until I don't want to say master it, but I there are certain actions and triggers that you will use frequently. When I say frequently, at least majority of the time you will use those triggers and use those actions. Okay? All right. And one last thing before we wrapped up. Time flies so fast. Okay. If you got a little time left towards the end, because you will be given 1 hour to complete the whole exam, and using the snapshot will really help you speed up your build, actually. So I highly suggest you use a snapshot. If you're not confident in how to load a snapshot, watch the replay of our video and try to practice it. Okay. Run through things just like a real client would. Try submitting. Let's just say, is it better to connect a domain at the level of funnel creation separately from domains and URL? What do you, hello, is it better to connect a domain at the level of funnel create? Well, you can also do it that way, because there's an option for you to connect a domain, right? If the system, yeah, if the system actually notice that you haven't connected a domain, a specific funnel that you're creating, it will give you the option to connect a domain right there. You can do that. Yes, that's a very good question. I also do that one time. All right. Run through things, test it, make sure that everything is working according to the specific instructions that was given to you on the exam guide. What would be the 80% of those triggers often used? Really depends on really depends on the business use case. I would say book appointment as a trigger, form submission as a trigger, payment submission on a trigger. On the actions, these are all being used, by the way. Send emails, go to internal notification, tags, what else, events, those kind of things. But during your exam, a lot of it is already in the setup in the snapshot. You just need to make sure you study what's missing. Again, your guide will be your best friend during your exam. Okay. All right. So, um, it's time for question and answer, and I've been answering some of the questions over there. But yes, if you have some other questions, now is the best time to ask, especially those any exam related question, everything that we talked about. I'll be more than happy to answer any of those, and including my team will help us answer some of those questions. Any question aside from those listed on the chat box? Hmm? Nothing? All right. Let me just put something in there. So time limit is 1 hour. It's open book. Um no, we don't send the exam guide in advance. At least we give 15 minutes before we send all access, including the exam guide. What if you fail? All right, this is the thing that I need this group to understand. When you subscribe to the certification, this is a subscription based certification. All right, you need to have an active sub. You need to have an active subscription during your exam date. That's all that matters. If your subscription is expired and it didn't renew, and that happens during the time and the day of your exam, your proctor will reach out to you letting you know that, hey, we see that your subscription is not active. We need an active subscription for you to take the exam. You can have multiple retakes. Let's just say if you fail your first take for your live certification exam, as long as your subscription is active, you'll have the chance of retaking it multiple times. Of course, according to your availability and to your proctor's availability. What else? Any other question, guys? No? No more question? All right. Are there any requirements to maintain your cert other than monthly payment? Nope. That's actually the only requirement. You need to have an active subscription. That's it. Good question. All right. Before we officially wrap up, I want to give everyone one last chance. Is there a burning question you haven't asked yet? By the way, again, recording will be posted in the community under the study group channel 15 minutes after, because normally this is automatic since we're using the live in the community feature. Just give the system a few minutes to convert the file into something that you can watch. But yeah, all right. Well, if not, I just want to say thank you to everyone for showing up and being part of this session. You are what's the best setup for this exam? Like browsers? Nothing really, but I would recommend nothing really, but I recommend. I find that there's actually a lot. I haven't had any issues using Chrome. So if you're you, well, you can use Safari if you'd like to, but I find that Chrome is actually more responsive. If this is not a requirement, but if you have a two monitor setup, the better. But it's not a requirement. Okay, it's just gonna help you to navigate a lot faster. Okay, if you have a two monitor setup, the better. But again, it's not a requirement. Okay, what's the scoring for part B to pass? Well, that's a good question. Well, there, since this is a build, there is, it's either a pass or a fail exam. It's either it's working or it's not working. And your proctor will be explaining further into that during your exam before you start. Okay. So it's a bit harsh. It's either working or not working because that's how it's supposed to be. Whenever you present a product or a finished build to your client, it's either it's working or it's not working. Right. So, yeah. But again, these are all just basic features. Any browse issue with Cloudflare? Recently, we had a day where it had a downtime, but no. Chrome works best for Cloudflare. No issue. All right. Any other questions? So again, it's an open book exam. You'll be given 1 hour. You can use any kind of material that is available to you, but make sure to relax. Do not overthink the exam. Trust in what you already know. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to everyone for showing up and being part of this session. You are taking a big step by preparing and asking those questions. That's what sets you up for success. We are all rooting for you, and we can't wait to see you become certified admin. See you next week. The recording will be posted in the community. Bye for now, guys. I'll see you again next week. Thank you so much for attending the session. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow.